welcome back from that break. Now, the green economy continues, and like I told you earlier on, we are addressing the conflict in this very end of the program. So, GMOs, it's been quite a debate. Kenya recently reverted the ban on GMOs, but that isn't the same feeling down here in Uganda, and maybe even other parts of the country, especially Africa. So, we had Honorable James Nsaba Buturo and then Dr. Otala Emmanuel from West Budama. These people, and be specific legislators, had to believe and then put it straightforward that they are anti-GMO. So the journey towards genetic modification in agricultural production is a no-go area. So basically, let's have a look at this battle and where it leads us, especially with the scientists being relied on inevitably.
It has potential to clearly confine this country into a situation that will be regrettable for a long, long time to come.
A trial vaccine to address, you could talk about tick infestation among animals and then livestock altogether. Remember, the country is losing out 3.8 billion Uganda shillings invested in addressing issues regarding animal infestation, acaricides being bought. So, and then on the other end, the animal production industry, the people that are into the production of milk, beef, hides and skins, among others, will be saving something like 1.1 billion of this as long as it rolls out. So let's take a look at their movement and then understand basically what the research intends to achieve in the long run.
And I'm also aware that you are doing some other efforts in the FMD and the swine fever.
from narrow and strictly, to put it plainly, the National Crops Resources Research Institute, that's NACRI.
To address food security, technology has been widely utilized. So where exactly is the conflict?
Why? The lobby, the multinationals that are behind this, have invested heavily in disinformation. And we have scientists, our own scientists, who have bought the lie that GMOs are the savior of our continent, our people. The truth of the matter is what we want to share with you, that really this is an existential threat that clearly will take away even the little area of sovereignty we have as Africans.
Once you use something continually, there's what they call hybrid vigor. Okay? Vigor is when a seed is released now, it is the most yielding. Okay? But down the road, its performance declines until it just disappears on its own without nobody removing it. So actually nobody is stopping us from planting the bananas that we used to plant in the 70s, from keeping the same cows we used to keep in the 70s. But be aware that there is something called hybrid vigor. It is lost with the time, with the generation. So the first generation performs better than the second generation, the third, like that down the road. So imagine you are on the 100th generation. You will plant that groundnut, you will plant that maize, okay? Or you will breed that cow, but you know that it will not perform like the previous. And that is where technology now comes in.
So what exactly does research and innovation represent in the eyes of the scientists?
The GMO challenge.
Yes.
And then NACI 13, 10 years ago, it was introduced.
Yes.
And then there's something that you didn't incorporate.
Yes.
And right now, with the GMO tech or approach, you've devised a solution to that challenge.
Yes.
Tell me something about that.
Well, the NACE theories, for example, NACE 13, NACE 12, up to NACE 19, those are varieties which in most cases were bred and developed to help fight this disease. Yes, but as a cassava brown streak disease, but we realize as a program, these varieties are succumbing to the disease. And as I alone hinted, these varieties were developed through conventional approach of breeding, the conventional breeding where you use flowers. Yes, but with this latest technology that we are currently using, we decided to get some of those varieties which are mostly liked by farmers. And the idea is to, incorporate a component of resistance in them.
But you remember that getting new varieties is a process. It takes a long time. It's not an easy method because it involves generally breeding new varieties, making new crosses and getting this. This can take almost 8 years to develop. So sometimes researchers can also adopt new varieties from other sources, like say outside the country. So if we had a challenge here, say for example, of a very strong disease, then researchers could go outside and source for better varieties that say varieties that are being grown in Tanzania, then they are brought in and then they are tested in different areas in Uganda. And if they are deemed good, then through a government process, these could be made varieties within a Ugandan setting that farmers could grow to address.
Now, amidst all this, the research providing it out to the people that do really need it, that's the agricultural industry, to tame the rising food insecurity of a downfall in production. The people that enjoy these services and then the knowledge, the technology, are not the scientists themselves. They are the people that are into animal production, livestock, agriculture, to put it plainly. But then there are variations in how all or both the ends, the scientists and then the people that utilize their save the developments, from the GMO to the hybrid to biotech altogether. So what does it mean on both ends?
We are losing some credible, or what we call the integrity of the seed. Because we have been here with a lot of indigenous crops, they are resistant to some diseases. They have a lot of nutrient content in them. They have, though they are vulnerable to some diseases, but at least they have a lot of nutrient content. But if at all we don't mitigate the issue of seeds,